Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Cyclist Systems. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate to you the use and the importance of Visual Studio Code in the life of a developer. Okay, so we'll start by understanding what is Visual Studio Code, how to install it, how to run it, and what is its used for. Okay, so this video I have already recorded in Hindi and this one is in English, as I have already promised you guys that I'll be trying my level best to record all the videos from now on in both English and Hindi. So here goes. I'm even planning to bring up a separate playlist to separate out the videos in Hindi and English. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into the session straight away. And let's understand first what Visual Studio Code is, or in short, VS Code. So VS Code is a code editor, okay? It is very much in demand in the market. And the basic use of Visual Studio Code is that of a code editor. Okay, so up till now we have been doing a lot about Python. We have been understanding different concepts in Python. Even that I'll be bringing the videos shortly in English also, the complete 18 to 19 videos, whatever we have done in Hindi. So for now, let me just explain you that in those videos, what I have used was a basic Notepad interface. So Notepad is a text editor which we had used, on which we used to run our code. We used to write our code, and then we used to use a command line, okay, to run our program. And so that is how we were working up till now. But now, what I want to introduce is a code editor. So VS Code or Visual Studio Code is a code editor. That means it is specially designed to write code, okay? And it helps you to enhance your performance and to increase your speed, okay? So to avoid wasting your time in typing out redundant code again and again, okay? And it has a lot of cool features which we'll be seeing in this video, okay? So first, let me just take you to the web page where you could actually download this VS Code editor.
Download Visual Studio. Download Visual Studio Code -Mac, Linux, Windows -Google Chrome window.
Okay, so this is the page. Let me show you the URL once.
Download Visual Studio https://code.visualstudio.com/download.
Okay, let me just read it character by character for you.
https://c o.
Okay, so from here the actual URL starts
code.visualstudio.
Okay, so code.visualstudio.com. Okay, code.visualstudio.com /download, because I wanted to bring you all to the download page, so I have written /download ahead. So let me just go back to the page now.
Code link window.
Fine. So on this page, the very first heading, okay, I'm pressing Control Home.
Top level nav.
Okay, so there is a top level navigation landmark. Here you just have to press heading level 1. You just have to go to heading level 1. So I'm pressing the H key here.
Download Visual Studio Code heading level 1.
Okay, and now press the K key to move to the first link.
Windows download link.
That's all. Okay, so now if you have some other operating system, some other OS, so there is a lot of links on this same page. You can navigate by the K command itself to jump to the links, and you'll see Linux.
Windows user install. Windows system installs. Windows system install ARM64. Windows zip 64 dash. Windows zip ARM60.
Okay, so if you want to install a zip file, download a zip file, so you can do from here.
Windows CLI 64 dash.
This is the command line interface.
Windows CLI ARM64. Linux Debian Ubuntu download link.
Okay, Linux Debian Ubuntu. So here you have different OS, and according to your requirement, you could download any one of these. Okay, so I have a Windows system. That's why you just have to click on the very first link over here.
Download Visual Studio, Windows download link.
Okay, so just hit enter over here. Depending on your internet, it will take some time to download. Okay, so you just have to wait patiently, maybe for 2 to 3 minutes at max, and it will be downloaded in your downloads folder. So now let me go to the downloads folder. I'm not hitting enter over here because I already have one installed.
Screen sharing, downloads, downloads dash file explorer, items view list. Last week, VS Code user setup -x64-1.101.2.exe.
Okay, so this is an executable file. So always remember, whenever you have .exe, that is an executable file. So we have downloaded VS Code. Now we'll just hit enter over here. Okay, so it will start installing. Before that, you'll have some dialog box to configure the settings and stuff. So let me just show you that. And trust me, it's very simple. But still, I'll just show you what happens.
Setup dialog code is already installed on the
right. So this dialog box has appeared for me because I already have it installed.
Yes.
So it is asking me whether you want to install this new one. Okay. And it is suggesting me that you first uninstall the previous one version and then you install this one. So just in order to show you, I'm clicking enter over here, hitting enter on yes button.
Downloads dash file explorer. Items view. Setup dash Microsoft Visual Studio Code left paren, user right paren, dialog license agreement. Please read the following important information before continuing. Please read the.
Okay, so this is a license agreement page. You just have to navigate using your tab key.
I do not accept the agreement radio button checked Alt+D.
Okay, there are two radio buttons. This is checked by default. If you want to check the other one, just press up arrow.
I accept the agreement radio button checked Alt+A.
Okay, so now you have agreed, and now again press tab key.
Next button.
Next button, hit enter.
Select the additional tasks you would like set up to perform while installing Visual Studio Code, then click Next. Tree View. Create a and desktop icon checkbox not checked.
Okay, so it is asking me to configure some additional settings and then hit the Next button. The first checkbox is create a desktop icon. So if you want a Visual Studio Code VS Code icon on your desktop, you can check this checkbox. Okay. Let me just go to the next one now.
Add quote open with code quote action to Windows Explorer file context menu checkbox checked.
Just keep the rest of the settings as it is. Okay. They're very important. So don't change any of these. So these options, see, I'll show you again.
Add quote open with code quote action to Windows Explorer directory context menu checkbox checked.
Okay, so what are these options actually telling you? They are telling you that if you have a file, okay, on your system, you want to open it using a VS Code. So when you press the application key after selecting that file, you will find an option of opening that file using VS Code. Okay, so you might have seen that when you hit the application key after selecting a file and you move by down arrow, you find an option which says open with, correct? And it's a sub menu. So there you have multiple options, like even when we had done the Python tutorials. So we had seen that there was option of opening the Python file using Notepad, using other many options, right? So even VS Code would appear there and you will be able to hit enter and open your file in VS Code directly. Okay, so that is what it is saying, that for that you need to keep these options checked.
Register code as an editor for supported file types checkbox checked. Add to path left paren, requires shell restart right paren, checkbox checked.
This is a very important option, so don't change any of these. Add to path, this option actually helps VS Code to fetch any of the files irrespective of wherever it is in your system and run it. Okay, so VS Code, we are actually giving access to our system by this option. We are adding it to the local path of our system, to the environment of our system, so that VS Code could access all of our files and folders.
Back button next.
Okay, so don't change anything. If you just want a desktop icon to be created, you can check the first checkbox. Otherwise, move to the next button.
Next.
Okay, I'm hitting enter over here. Next button.
Install.
Here you go. Here comes the install page.
Cancel button. Click Install to continue with the installation, or click Back if you want to review or change any settings. Back button, Install button Alt plus I.
That's all. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's very easy. So you just have to hit install over here and it will start installing the software on your system. Okay, it might again take some time because all the packages needs to be installed properly, but then you will finally get a finish page button. You just have to hit enter on the finish button and VS Code would be successfully installed. Okay, so I already have installed. I'm not going to hit enter over here. I'm just pressing the escape key.
Exit setup dialog. Setup is not
Yes, I want to exit, so I'm hitting enter on yes button.
Setup dash Microsoft Visual Studio Code left paren, user right, exit setup yes button, space. Downloads dash file.
Okay, so I'm closing this downloads folder.
Down.
Let me close this web page also.
Audio.
And now let me go to my taskbar. I have VS Code pinned over here.
Zoom. Visual Studio Code pinned button 7 of 8.
I'm entering over here.
Visual Studio Code, document. Application. Calculator dot.
Okay, my bad. Just a second, guys. I had these files open. Let me close them. Yeah. So what happens is when you will actually first open your Visual Studio Code, you will have some web page open. It will say, welcome to VS Code. Do you want to configure some settings? All this stuff would be given. So what you could do is you can press Control plus End key. Okay. And then press Shift plus B key. You will find a button called mark done. Okay. Mark as done. So basically, there would be some additional settings over there. If you want to change the theme of your VS Code, dark, light, all these things would be there. And some more additional configurations would be there. So if you don't want to read that for that time, you can always come to the end of the page. There would be a mark done button. Just hit enter on that button and that page would be closed. Okay. Now, the first thing what you do when you actually open your VS Code is you actually open a folder in which you want to work. Okay. And if I want to talk about the layout of this page, so there is a ribbon at the top which consists of all the menus present. So how could you navigate over there? You could simply press the Alt key. So I'm just doing that.
File submenu Alt plus F1 of 8.
Okay, so in total there are 8 options. File.
Edit submenu Alt plus E2 of 8.
Alt plus E. Okay, so just make sure, guys, this is a very, I really like VS Code for multiple reasons. First is that when you are a developer, right, you completely have to rely on shortcut keys. It makes your life very easy. So there is a shortcut key which is announced for every single thing over here. So it is saying Alt plus E.
Selection submenu Alt plus S3 of 8.
Alt plus S.
View submenu, go submenu Alt.
Go.
Run sub. Terminal submenu Alt plus T7 of 8. Help submenu Alt plus H8 of 8.
Got it?
Python line basics dash Visual Studio Code.
So this is the current folder which is opened. How do you open a folder? I'll show you that thing once. So either you could press a shortcut key which is Control K, Control O, or you can go within the file submenu. Over there also you will find an option to open a folder. Okay. So let me just press the shortcut key to show you how you do that. You press Control. Okay. You keep it pressed. Then you press K, leave it, press O, leave it in succession.
Open folder dialog. Folder : edit blank.
Got it? So now this is just a normal dialog box. You can select your folder from here.
Items view list. Name split. Codes not. Project 2. Python line basics 3 of 3.
Okay, this is what I have selected. Let me just recheck by going back down. I'm pressing the tab key over here.
Name split button. Folder : edit Python line basics. Select folder button.
Okay, I'm not pressing over here select because this folder I've already kept open. So I'm just coming back from here.
Python.
Okay. How do you know that your folder is open? See, by insert T, just try to read the title of this particular VS Code window.
Python line basics dash Visual Studio Code.
Right? So this is the folder name. So now what amazing things you could do is you could actually access all your files firstly, right from here. So I'm pressing the shortcut Control, Shift and E. E for elephant.
Application. Files Explorer Tree View. Commenting.py 2 of 18 level 1.
Okay, commenting.py.
C. Conditional C. Calculator.py not selected 1 of 18 level 1.
Okay, so all the files which are present in my Python underscore basics folder is present over here. All of them are showing up over here. Okay. So now I can just, hit enter of one of these files and the file would be opened on the main area, the main workspace area. The file would be opened over here. So let me go with calculator.py.
C. Commenting C. Conditional C. Calculator.py not selected 1 of 18 level 1.
So you just have to hit enter over here.
Main landmark. Calculator.py editor has auto-complete multi-line 2 tab result equals number 1 plus number 2.
Okay. Now the file is opened.
Tab if operator equals plus colon. Error. No indent number algorithm colon. Tab if no indent.
Okay, now let me show you some of the cool features over here. So when we were learning about Python and I was teaching you about error handling, what problem we had faced over there is we had already written a very good amount of code over there in that file. And now we wanted all those lines of code to be shifted by one tap to the right so that we could enclose them within the try block, correct? So we had to do all those things manually. There were around 14 to 15 lines, if I am not wrong. And we had to, press the home key and again press the tab key to move all the lines to the right. So instead of that, what we could do right now is we could simply select all the lines which we want to shift towards the right by a tab space. Okay. So I'm going to do that.
Blank. Number algorithm. Tab if up.
Okay. So this is, could you just hear this sound? This is also a very cool feature of VS Code.
No indent number algorithm colon.
Okay. I'm just pressing down arrow.
Tab if operator equals plus colon. Error.
Okay. So it is also announcing error. And it is actually giving a sound. So this sound denotes that there is some error on this line. Okay. Let me again do down arrow.
2 tab result equals number 1 plus number 2. Tab if op 2 tab result.
Okay. So what is the error actually?
Info
Oh, 1 second. Yeah.
Tab if op.
So all these lines are actually shifted to the right with a single tab without any reason. So there is no try written on the top. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to either bring them back by one tab or take them further to the right by a single tab. So I'm going to select this entire if block.
2 tab if op 2 tab if operate tab I error tab result if not result else colon result equal else result line feeds line.
Okay, so I have selected the complete block over here. First, I'll move it to the left. Okay, so let's do that by pressing Control plus left square bracket.
Print left paren.
Okay, now let's see what happens. I'm coming out of the selection now.
No indent number algorithm colon. If operator equals plus colon. Tab result equals no indent if.
Did you see the difference? So first there was a tab before this line, if condition. And now all the tabs have been removed from all the lines which we had selected.
Tab result, no indent if operate. Tab result, no indent tab if 2 tab result. Tab else, 2 tab, no indent else. Tab no indent blank.
Okay. So this is what you could do. You could just press Control plus left bracket. Again, if you want to add a tab in front of all these lines, you could do Control right square bracket. So all you have to do is select the bunch of lines before which you want to add an indent or remove an indent, and then just press Control left bracket or right bracket depending on whether you want to remove the tab or add a tab. Okay. So this was the first feature. Second, I've already showed you error detection. So let me just go to the bottom of this file.
Blank.
Let's say if I write a line.
Left paren. Space. N. A. M. Name. Left paren. Name right paren.
What happened over here? I did not press the right paren. So what you could do is whenever you are adding something which always occur in pairs, like the braces, the parentheses, the quotations, right? All these symbols always occur in pair. If you are opening this, it is definite that you will be closing these parentheses or the quotations. So IntelliSense, okay, is the main mechanism which is responsible for all these things in VS Code. What it does is it automatically detects that you have opened a parenthesis, and as soon as you finish writing your word and just press right arrow, okay, it will close those parentheses. So let's say I've opened like 2 to 3 parentheses in line. If just I press the right arrow, all those parentheses would be closed automatically. So now I don't have to worry about whether I have opened 2 parentheses and all the parentheses are closed or not. IntelliSense would take care of that. Okay.
Left paren. Blank. Left paren. Name right paren. Warning.
Now, did you hear that sound? So it is saying that in Python, you have to have some function name before it, right? That is why it is actually throwing this error and saying warning.
Left paren.
So what we would do is we would actually define a very simple function over here. So I'll start by writing def.
D. Suggest list. Def 1 of 12. Warning.
This is another cool feature of it. It suggests in real time. Okay. So depending on whatever your file extension is. So this file is calculator.py. VS Code automatically knows that this is a Python file. And so when a person is writing D in the beginning of the sentence, it means that the person might be wanting to define a function. So it has actually suggested me. I'll just have to press enter over here to actually bring this suggestion to my code.
Error. Def left paren. Name right paren.
Okay, again, it is saying error because there is no function name. Let me just give a random name.
A, B, C, A, B, C. Defab left, defab left.
Oh my god. Okay, so there was no space. Let me just do
D,
that.
E, F, A, space. Def A, B, C left paren. Name right paren. Blank. Error.
Again, it is saying error because a colon is missing.
Colon. Error.
Okay, now let me press enter after this.
Tab. Error.
What happened? My cursor has now moved to the next line and automatically it has inserted a tab on the next line. So again, it detects that you are writing a function, you have put a colon. So you'll definitely have to write the body of the function.
No indent def ABC left paren. Name right paren. Colon.
So now this line is not throwing an error. It is not making that sound. But on the next line,
Tab blank. Error.
It is showing an error because I haven't written anything. So let me just write return
blank. R, E. Warning. Suggest list. Return 1 of 13.
Okay. I'm again pressing enter.
Calculator. Space.
And I'll do return hello name. So I'm doing open quote.
Quote. Cap
Hello.
H, E, L, L, O. Hello. Quote. O. Blank. O. L. O. Blank. Error. O. L. L. Error. E. Cap. Quote. Cap H, E, L, L, O. Blank. Return quote hello quote.
Again, so I just press the right arrow and the quotation has appeared. Okay.
Space. Plus. Space. N. Warning. Suggest list. Non-local 1A. Warning. Suggest list. Name 1 of 5. Calculate.
So again, the variable names, when you write huge projects, your variable names have to make sense, right? And so they could be really large. So again, whatever you're writing, it is actually analyzing your code and suggesting to you the variable names also. So you don't have to, go back to the lines again at the top and see what was the name, whether it was in capital or small, or whether it had an underscore in the middle. No, you can just choose from the suggestion which is provides.
Return quote hello quote plus name.
Got it? So now it is not making that error sound also. Okay, so these are the 2 to 3 features. Again, one more thing I wanted to show you over here is how to comment out anything. Okay, so let's say I want to comment out this entire code in this file. So I'm just doing Control A.
600 and
Okay, and now I'll press the shortcut key Control/. So a hash sign will appear in front of all the lines which I have selected. So a hash sign would appear in front of the entire code.
number def ABC left.
Okay, let me just see. I'm just coming out of the selection.
No indent number return quote hello quote plus name. Number def ABC left paren, name right paren, blank. Number return quote number def ABC blank. Number print left paren, result right paren.
Okay, this is the previous code. So this is how you could actually comment out all the lines at once by pressing Control/. Again, it's a toggle key. If you want to uncomment them again, first select all those lines. I'm doing Control A.
600.
And again, I'll press Control/.
Unselected.
Now let's see if the hash sign has disappeared.
Tab return quote, no indent def ABC.
Okay, so yes, it has gone. Fine. How will you run your file over here? So running is a bit similar to how we used to do with the command line. What we will do is we will actually open our command line over here only. So we call it as the terminal. Okay. So how to open your terminal in VS Code? You simply press Control plus graph.
Terminal 1, PowerShell use Alt plus F1 for terminal accessibility help edit blank. PSD:\Python line basics greater PSD.
Okay. So your command line is opened within VS Code. It's not a separate window anymore. Okay. By pressing Control plus graph. What is graph? Graph is the key which is to the left of your main keyboard number 1. Okay. So now I hope you have noticed one thing, that the directory is already d:\python_basics. Why so? Because your folder is open within VS Code. So automatically it detects the directory of your folder and opens the terminal in that directory. Okay. So again, I'll just run the command python space calculator.py to run this file.
PYTHON Python space ALCUATR calculator.py.
I'm pressing enter.
Py. Terminal 1, Python use Alt plus F1 for terminal accessibility help. Enter the first number : 2. 2. Enter the second number : 4. 4. Enter one of the following operators left paren, plus, dash.
Okay, so 2, 4 and the operator is minus.
Command succeeded. -2 PSD:\Python line basics greater.
Okay. So did you hear that sound? That sound means that the file has run successfully. Okay, the program is executed successfully and it has also announced the output -2. So 2 minus 4 -2. Now over here, if you want to read your output line by line again, so you just have to come into the browse mode, press insert and space bar.
Terminal.
Okay, so now you can simply use your arrow keys again once you are in the browse mode.
-2 PSD:\Python line basics greater. List with 12 items space, blank. No indent PSD:\Python line basics greater. -2. Enter one of the following operators left paren, plus, dash, star, / right paren, dash. Enter the second number : 4. Enter the first number : 2.
Okay, so this was something which a lot of people used to ask me, that ma'am, if we don't have the numpad in our laptop keyboards and if we don't want to install any of the NVDA add-ons, the ObjPad add-on, so how could we actually read the output in the terminal? So that problem is solved. You just have to come in the browse mode, navigate by up and down arrow keys to read your output, and you don't have to use a review cursor anymore. Again, now it's a toggle key. If you want to go back to your file, you'll press Control Graph again.
Main landmark. Calculator dot.
Okay, again, if you want to come back to the terminal, press Control Graph. It's as simple as that. Okay. Now there is something called extensions also. Let me show you that. What is an extension? So basically this VS Code can be used for multiple language. Okay, it's not like it's only used for Python. Any language can be run using VS Code. It's simply a code editor. So what developers do now, whenever they face some problems, they develop some extensions to resolve that problem. Okay, and those extensions can be accessed within VS Code. Okay, and those extensions, once you download them, once you install them in VS Code, they will run in the background and help to solve a problem in your file. So you don't have to write any external command for that. So I'll show you once that live demo that how an extension is used. For that, I'm going back again to my file explorer. I'm pressing Control Shift E over here again.
Files Explorer tree view. Calculator dot.
Okay. Now over here, I'm pressing Shift plus Tab.
New file. Button.
Okay. This is a new file button. There is one more button. I'm just navigating by the arrow key.
New folder. Button.
Okay. So new file button. And when you press right arrow, you find this new folder. So if you want to create a new folder within Python_basics folder, you can hit enter over here, give a name, again hit enter, and that folder will appear in your file explorer preview. Okay. So for now, I want to create a file. I'm going back by left arrow.
New file. Button.
I'm pressing enter.
Files Explorer tree view. Type file name.
Okay. Type file name. Let me give the file name.
DEMO. Demo. Error : HTML.
Okay, it will keep saying error : till the time you don't complete writing your file name.
Demo.html.
Okay, so I'm creating an HTML file, demo.html. I'll hit enter.
TML. Calculator.py not selected one. Demo.html-Python line basics-Visual Studio Code. Blank.
Okay, so now the window has, not the window, the tab has changed. Demo.html is opened on my main area, on my main workspace, and now for now it is blank.
Blank.
Okay, so let me just try to write some HTML code over here. What do we start with usually? Writing the command less than sign, then bang, which is exclamation, doc type HTML greater. Now for the people who are not aware about HTML, don't worry. I'll be bringing a video on how to make your web pages and then move on to slowly developing your own websites. Just give me some time for that. I'm working on it. So we will learn HTML, CSS and JS very soon for web development purpose, front-end development. But for now, just try to observe. Okay, I'm trying to show you the features of VS Code. So I'm pressing less.
Suggest list. Doc type 1 of 114.
Now, how did it recognize it? Again, by the extension. So now this is a .html file. So it knows that my first command would be doc type. So I'm just pressing enter. If you want to see more options now over here, you could just press your down arrow key.
A 2 of 100 and ABBR 3 of 114.
Okay, again I'm going up.
A 2, doc type 1 of 114.
Okay, and if you don't want it to select, like if you are feeling that no, this is not the right suggestion, if you want to go back to your editor, you can simply press escape key and you'll come back to wherever you were in your file. So now I want the suggestion. I'm pressing enter over here.
Demo.html less doc type HTML greater.
Right? It only suggested me doc type, but the entire tag came less doc type HTML greater. Now we know in HTML, if we have an opening tag, then we have a similar closing tag also, right?
Less doc type HTML greater. Less doc type blank.
So I'll bring my cursor to the next line and I'll type
less slash demo h less slash ht demo.m L/HTML. Less/HTML greater.
Again, it suggested me less/HTML greater.
Less/HTML greater.
Okay. Now anything which I want to write on my web page will come in between these two opening and closing tags, right?
Blank. Less docked. Blank.
So I'll write head. Okay. Now I'm using the another method. I'll just write the tag name. So I'm doing head.
Head 1 of 2.
Head 1 of 2. I'm pressing enter. Let's see what happens.
Demo.html. Less head greater. Less/head greater.
Okay. So automatically the entire opening and closing tag have come up on the screen. And let me just check my focus. Where is it?
Less greater.
It is in the middle of the head opening and closing tags. Okay. So now I'll just press enter again.
4 space.
And it has inserted 4 spaces for me. So I'm just navigating by up arrow. Let's see what is there above this.
No indent. Less head greater.
Okay. Now let me see what is below.
4 space blank.
Okay. One more time down arrow.
No indent. Less/head greater.
Okay. So now this indent or 4 spaces is not mandatory in HTML, but just so that the code looks visually beautiful, so that you are able to recognize which is the parent tag and which are the child tags. It gives this indent. Okay.
4 space blank.
So in this 4 space, I want to write the title tag. I want to give a title to my web page. So I'll just type title.
T. List I. Time 1 of T. Title 1 of 1. L. E.
Okay, so I have typed out title completely. And now I'll press the tab key. That's all.
LE. Less title greater. Less/title greater.
So you have two options. Either when you're typing the tag name, you can select it from the suggestions and the opening and the closing tag would appear. Or you could write the entire name and press the tab key. Okay, so as soon as after writing the tag name, you press the tab key. Again, the same thing would happen. The opening and the closing tag would appear and your cursor would be present between them.
Slash, less, greater, greater, less.
Right? It's in between them. So let me just give the web page a title. I'm writing Sightless Systems.
Cap S, I, H, T, L, S. Cap S, Y, S. Less title greater sightless systems less/title greater.
Okay, fine. So now what happens is whenever you want to, like in Python, what do we do if we want to check the output, what is actually coming? So we see the output on our command line, right? Or on the terminal. That is where we see the output of our files and that is where we run our file. So for HTML, where do we see the output? So the best page to view the output is your browser, right? So whenever you run your HTML file, you see the output on your browser. So for that, what we had to do is we had to, click and hit enter on that file name and it used to open up in the default browser. So in my case, it would open up in a Google Chrome. But whenever you are making changes in your this file, okay, in the coding area, that changes would not be reflected on your Chrome just because you'll have to refresh that page again and again, right? So there is no direct connection between the code you're writing and the output which is being seen on the web page, right? So that was really a hard task because you have to press Ctrl R again and again to see the output. And if it is a major output, then sometimes you have to close the file again and open it once again on the Chrome. So that used to be a headache. So now what we have in VS Code is an extension by the name Live Server. And what does that live server do is that it runs the file dynamically. It's running your file on a live server. And so whatever code you are writing, automatically the changes are reflected in real time on your browser. Okay. So that live server extension is already installed on my system. So all I have to do now is to press the shortcut key to actually start that live server. Okay, so the shortcut key is also something which will be mentioned in the document of that live server, and that shortcut key is Alt L and Alt O. So I'll keep the Alt key pressed and then quickly I'll press O and then I'll press L, and then I'll press O. So Alt L, Alt O.
Read only. Info: server is started at port 5500. Siteless systems - Google Chrome window. Siteless systems. http://1.
Okay, you need not hear this. It's the IP address. So my page has opened up on Chrome. Let me read the title by pressing Insert T.
Siteless systems - Google Chrome.
Okay. So a web page has opened up. It's a blank white web page. And there is nothing written on the web page right now because we haven't typed out anything in the main area. So only the title is visible. So now what I can do is I can go back to my Visual Studio Code window by Alt Tab.
Demo.html. Demo.html.
Okay, and now quickly I'll write some more codes and we'll see the changes or the additional information on our page.
No indent less / head greater. Line feed.
So after the head tag, we use the body tag. I'm writing body.
dy blank. No indent less body greater. 4 space blank. No indent less / body greater. 4 space blank.
Okay, so see, it is again very smart. It knows that body tag has to, have multiple code of lines within it. So it has already generated an empty line for me. So here I will I'm going to create a head tag, a heading level 1.
H suggest 1 H less H1 greater less / H1 greater.
Okay, and here I'll type a heading.
Cap WESO welcome to R space cap S U T O less H1 greater welcome to our VS Code tutorial less / H1 greater.
Okay, now let me just go to my this web page on Chrome by Alt Tab.
Siteless systems - Google Chrome window. Siteless systems. Heading level 1 welcome to our VS Code tutorial.
Got it? So heading level 1 has been created on my page.
Heading level 1 welcome to our VS Code tutorial.
Okay, this is appearing on my web page. So now I did not have to refresh my Chrome page again to see the changes. It is running live. So whatever I'm coding there will reflect over here. So this is done by using an extension by the name of Live Server. So now let me show you from where you could install these different types of extensions.
Demo.h.
So here you could press the shortcut key again, Control-Shift-X.
Search extensions in Marketplace Editor has auto-complete multi-line blank. 22 extensions found in the installed section.
Okay, so these 22 are already installed on my system. So let me just type the server name, the extension
LIVE, live, SERVER. 1677 extensions found in the Marketplace section.
Okay, now just press tab twice.
Server. Main landmark, tab control, demo.html tab selected 2 of 2.
What happened? Just a sec.
Clear extensions search results.
Once again.
Clear extensions search results button. Clear extent demo.html
back. Sometimes the focus is a bit difficult to find, so I'm pressing Control-Shift-X once.
Main landmark, demo.html less H1 greater welcome. Search extensions in Marketplace Editor has auto-complete multi-line live server.
Yes, live server.
Live server. Toolbar, clear extensions search results button. Extensions list clickable with one item live server clickable 109 milliseconds launch a development local server with live reload feature for static and dynamic pages clickable Ritvika toolbar manage.
Okay, so this is how you'll get your output. I have searched it. When I pressed tab twice, it actually gave me the output, and it also told me who is the author who has actually created or developed this extension. What does it do, right? And I have got a manage button. So yes.
Live server 5.7.9 publisher Ritvika Launch a development local server with live reload feature for static and dynamic pages. Rated 4.38 out of 5 stars by 505 users.
Right? So when you're in the edit mode, it gives a bit more information about it. I'm pressing tab key over here.
Toolbar, manage button.
Okay, I'm getting a manage button over here because it's already installed on my system. When you will actually search for any extension for the first time and press tab key after hearing about it, you will get an install button right next to it. So you have to hit enter on the install button. It will take some time to download, and then a document page about that extension would open up. So there you can read how to actually use that extension, for what it is used exactly. And most probably there would be a shortcut key to actually use it when you want. So in HTML, when I wanted the live server to run, I press the shortcut Alt L, Alt O, which is the shortcut for this extension. Now there are also some extensions which do not need any, tug from your end, any nudge from your end. They run in the background only. So there are some extensions which help your code to look better, to look prettier. So these extensions don't need to be run automatically. By detecting your file's extension, they get automated at the backend and they start working. Okay. So with this, we are left only one thing I wanted to show you is that, okay, firstly, let me just show you that how could we navigate. Okay, I'm coming out of this. I'm pressing escape.
Manage button.
Okay, now to close this particular tab, I'm doing Control W.
Main landmark. Calculator dot. List item. Main list.
Okay, so it's just like Google Chrome. We have multiple tabs opened on the same window, right? Similarly, VS Code window is opened up and I had 3 tabs right now. First was calculator.py, then we opened up demo.html, and then the extension page. So I had closed the extension page. My focus has landed on this calculator.py, and now I'm doing Control Tab to see the other tabs.
List. Calculator dot. List. Calculator.
Okay, I think by mistakenly I have done Control W twice. So even demo.html has been closed. No worries, we wanted to close it anyways. So I can even close this file by doing Control W.
Calculator.py-python line.
So now no tab is opened on the screen. If I want to again open some file, I'll do Control Shift E.
Application. Files Explorer tree view. Calculator. Commenting dot. Conditional. Demo dot. Diary dot. Demo dot html not selected 4 of 19.
Okay, all these files are present over here. Now let me go to the file menu again. I'm pressing Alt key.
File submenu Alt plus F1 of 8.
Okay, let me see the options over here.
New text file Control plus NN1 of 22. New file. Control plus Alt plus Windows plus N2 of 22. New window Control plus Shift plus NW3 of 22. New window with profile submenu. Open file. Control plus 005 of 22. Open folder. Control plus K Control plus OF6 of 22.
Right, so you don't have to mug up any of these shortcut keystrokes. It becomes a habit. But if you are actually struggling, so no worries. There is something called a command palette also present over here. I'll show you that in a minute. But first, I want to show you something interesting over here.
Open, add, save, duplicate, save as. Share submenu. Auto save checked U16 of 22.
Auto save. So one thing you might have noticed over here, when I was writing my Python code, I was not pressing Control S every single time, right? Even in the HTML file, if I use the traditional method of using a notepad and running my code on a Chrome browser, so what I had to do is I always had to press Control S in order to save the changes, and then go on the Chrome window, press Control R to refresh the page, and only then could I see the changes on my page, right? But by enabling this option over here, auto save, it's a checkbox. By default, it would be unchecked, most probably in your case. So you just have to come over here, check this checkbox by pressing enter. Okay. and then you don't have to press Control S all the time. So whatever you're writing is automatically getting saved, and your output will be according to that only. Okay. So this is one thing, and all the shortcut keys are announced simultaneously over here. I want to show you this another option. I'm going back.
Files. Edit sub. Selection sub menu. Views. Go sub menu. View. Command palette. Control plus Shift plus PC 1 of 17.
This is a very important option. This is within the view menu, command palette. So here, if you want to find the command of any feature at all, you could just go over here.
Type the name of a command to run. List.
Okay, type the name of the command to run. So let me just do run.
RUN. 25 results. Debug colon. Run to cursor. Developer colon. Show running extensions.
Right? So you will find the command of every single task over here. It's a command palette, and if you want, you can add some of your own combinations, shortcut key combinations for a particular task. Okay. So I hope guys you enjoyed it. Especially this tutorial was for beginners, so that you could actually use VS Code in your day-to-day life more proficiently. There is one small bug in VS Code, and that is like when you open a new folder, okay, open a folder, so it might get hanged for a minute. You won't be able to do anything on your page. It would say undefined, okay, or just code. So at that time, what you have to do is you have to close your window. First, try closing it by Alt F4. If that doesn't work, then do Alt space and then C. Okay, then definitely your window would be closed, and open VS Code again. So the second time when you will open it again, your folder would also be opened in the window. So this error or this bug is happening not with me, but with many of my friends. We had even tried to reinstall it, but still it is showing up. So just see if this feature is working fine in your case or not. If it is not, then I've showed you how to resolve it. Okay. So it will just happen once, not all time. The very first time when you'll actually hit on the select folder button, that is when this problem might show you. And visually, if you take the help of any sighted person, they would say that everything is looking fine and fine on the page for them. And also there would be one dialog box that would appear every time when you open a new folder, and that dialog box will ask you that do you trust the authors of this folder. Okay, so there you have to actually navigate by the tab key and say yes, I trust the authors of this folder. So basically it's like a security check which VS Code does, that do you really want to open this folder in VS Code and work on it. So that is what would happen. So I've showed you the problems. For us, for like, since we are using the screen reader, there is a lot of things which VS Code announce, and sometimes it gets hanged. So that happens because it tries to analyze things and give us suggestions in real time. Correct? So that takes a bit of memory at the back end. It could be a bit heavier than the normal notepad that we use. But trust me, whenever you're working on big projects, it's a very, very good tool to use, because there are some features which would actually help the entire process to be more simpler and quicker. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I have shared all the things, all the cool features which a beginner should use initially, and also the drawbacks, also what you're actually missing if you're not using notepad. So your speed sometimes might be a bit slow because it keeps nudging you about different suggestions. Some suggestion might not be even accurate, so you might get a bit irritated in the beginning, but it will come, it would be more smoother when you practice more and more. So that's all from my side, guys. I'll see you in the next video with other some good and nice tutorial. So yes, if you liked it, then please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and share it with others also. All I'm doing is I'm trying to make good accessible videos with screen readers, so that you guys could actually use and start exploring more about technology, about development. And yeah, that's all. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Sightless. Screen share.